Hi there, we are gonna go over some stretches and some exercises for knee pain. If you have any knee pain when you're doing any squats, lunges, pretty much anything. So we're gonna start with the stretches first. I'm actually gonna start standing. So we're gonna start with the front of the thigh, the quad muscles, sorry. So we're gonna bring that leg back, making sure that we're nice and tall. Everything is kind of tucked in, we're not arching the back. And then also making sure that that knee is pulled into the midline right here. And then just stretching the front right there. And that's gonna pull on that kneecap right there. So hold for about 30 seconds, each leg on that one, 3 times. The next one I'm gonna have you do is just basically a forward fold. So we're gonna inhale up, exhale, reach for those toes. Everything nice and hanging, gravity taken over. And hug that in, feel that stretch right here in the hamstrings, a little bit back behind the knee. 30 seconds there, and you're gonna bring that up, and then we're gonna focus on stuff on the ground. So with this, you're going to probably need a little towel, or a dog leash, or anything that's kind of long that you can put around your foot. And we're gonna start with a seated calf stretch. So you're gonna take that and put it around the ball of your foot. You don't wanna put it on your toes because if it comes off, you're gonna hit yourself in the face. So right about there, on that pad on the foot. You wanna make sure that the foot is flexed and you're pulling those toes towards you. You're gonna feel that stretch right there on the back of that calf. 30 seconds there, 3 times. And then to that other side, making sure you are nice and even on those. So you're gonna keep that towel or that strap that you have, and we're going to lay down. Next, we're gonna do the hamstring. I'm actually gonna switch sides so you can see. So with that, same thing, you wanna put it on that pad of the foot right there, that ball in here, making sure that that leg is locked. So we're grabbing that hamstring muscle, and that also crosses across the back of the knee right there. So we're nice and gentle stretches on that. 30 seconds, making sure that we're not going too far up to where we're lifting the hip off of the ground. We want to make sure that the hip stays on the floor, and then just gentle stretch there. 30 seconds each side. Next one is going to be your IT band stretch, and there's a few ways we're going to stretch that. I'm going to start with the one laying down. It's basically your hamstring stretch, but once you're up here, you're going to take it over across the body. Find a good angle for you, so that may be a little further down, that may be further up, whatever feels good, but you're going to start feeling it on the outside of the hip and the outside of the thigh right here. So 30 seconds on each side there. The next one is actually a standing up one. So what I was having you do earlier, where you were reaching your toes, now you're actually going to cross your legs and then reach your toes from that direction. Making sure we're shifting forward a little bit on the toes, not so much in the heels on this one. So we're grabbing everything that's tight right there, and then you're just gonna switch. Okay. And then next thing you need to worry about is ankle flexibility. That's not something that we think about, or even if we're having knee pain, we're just like, oh, it's just knee pain. Well, your knee is connected to everything else in your legs, including down to your ankles. So you want to work on the flexibility in your ankles. Best thing to do, circles. So you get to act like a little kid, put your feet out in front of you, and draw big old circles with those feet. And you want to do it clockwise and counterclockwise. You're probably going to hear a lot of popping. Okay, and then also pumps. So as if you're pushing the gas pedal on your car, you just want to push away from you and bring it back in. Away and back in. Good. And then the last stretch that I want you to do is basically a figure 4. I'm going to stay seated for this one, making sure that your foot is flexed to protect your knee so it's in place. here, hinging from the hip. You can lean forward if you need it. You feel that stretch back here. You may not have to lean forward if you're really, really tight. Just stand nice and tall for this one, or sit nice and tall for this one. And 30 seconds there. All right, we're gonna get into the exercises. The first one that we're gonna do is basically a quad set, is what it's called. So all we're doing is contracting the top of the thigh in order to push the knee down into the floor. So we're just contracting this muscle in order to strengthen the knee, okay? It helps to have a little bit of a visual, so I take a towel, I put it right underneath that knee so I have something to push against, and you just activate, set it, and then release. Squeeze, and you will see the end come up and back down, okay? If it hurts when you do it, don't squeeze so hard, just gentle squeezes on that. So we're just doing it just to activate the muscle, okay? And then the next one I'm gonna have you do is called, we're gonna come up here, it's a long arc quad. You can do this on the machine at the gym. It's basically your leg extension, but if you don't have a gym, you don't have machinery to use, you can just be here. And you want to, again, same thing, we're just contracting that same exact muscle just to lift the rest of the leg up and then back down. So you want to make sure when we squeeze at the top, we also squeeze coming down so it's nice and controlled, grabbing that hamstring as well. All right, and then the third exercise, we've got clamshells, which are super important for knee health, for hip health, for glute health, for lower back health, everything. So we're gonna throw it in for this. Making sure that you are in basically that little fetal position, legs are out in front of you, making sure that we're supported right here in the rib cage. We're not sinking down, squeezing the heels together, and you're gonna open up those knees just like this. Give me about 15 to 20 on each side. And you can always add a little band if you need some extra resistance on that as well. Okay, the next one on the floor. This one is kind of 4 exercises in one, so I call it Around the World. Really good for strengthening the knee and the hips, which is all really important, like I said, because it is connected. So we're gonna start on our sides actually, and making sure that our hips are stacked one on top of the other, squeezing the bum in, squeezing those ribs in here as well. And we want to flex the foot again to make sure that that knee is stabilized. And we're gonna lead with the heel. So you're gonna draw a line all the way up to the ceiling with that heel and straight back down, okay? So we don't wanna be swinging our hips and making sure that we're coming back or forth, backwards or forwards with that hip, just making sure it's stabilized and you're only going up as far as it'll let you in that range of motion. Right there, okay? And then from there, we're going to, because you're going to be doing both sides, you're going to go ahead and take that leg. You can either put it forward or behind you, whatever's going to be more comfortable. And I'm going to move it forward because I like it a little bit better. Again, flexing that bottom leg, and we're actually going to push up through the ceiling with that leg this time. So working those inner thigh muscles right here, which also grabs, guess what, the inside of the knee. So we're strengthening that as well. Once you have that on both sides, so this one and this one, you're going to switch sides, do it on the other side, and then you can lay on your back, and we're going to kick up straight to the ceiling. If you ever have ankle weights or anything like that, feel like you want to add a little bit more resistance, you're more than welcome to. Again, flexing that foot, making sure it's not loosey-goosey, lifting only up to as high as the other knee, because going up higher is really not necessary. So just here, controlling that core. And you're going to give me about 15 to 20 kicks in each direction. So there, and then once you do both legs on that one, the last one, so your fourth one around the world, you're going to be laying on your belly. Get nice and comfortable. Go ahead and activate that core properly. And then all we're doing is lifting the leg up behind us. Okay, again, making sure that that foot is flexed. And no need to go as high to where your hip is gonna come off the ground. So make sure that that stays down. We're not twisting. We're just a little lift. Squeezing the booty to lift the leg. All right, and then a few more things on the mat. And this next one, you don't have to have a strap for this, but I'm just gonna use it just for visual. So the first one we're gonna do is basically a heel slide. So you want to stabilize yourself with one bent leg, and then the other one, we're going to dig that heel in and kind of slide it all the way up until you get a good stretch in the knee here, nothing too crazy. And then just slowly release it back in. And this doesn't work well when you have socks and you're on a rubber mat, but you get the point. So a little bit of resistance to come in. Really, this is more just for a stretch, and then coming back out, okay? And then the exercise part of that, we're going to do a heel dig. So what I like to do is I actually like to lean back onto the hands just a little bit for a little support. You're going to flex that foot, make sure that the toes are all the way up to the ceiling, and you're going to pull or dig down and then towards you, but it's not going to move. So it's an isometric hold, okay? And then you just release, okay? And so again, you're gonna push down and then towards you. So you're gonna feel a little bit of pull here in the hamstring, but more than anything, we're strengthening this knee all the way around with this exercise. So holding just for a few seconds and release, and give me about 15 to 20 on each side on that one. Just like that. Perfect. And then the other important exercise that people don't really think about for the knees, they just think it's for the calf muscles, are heel raises. So those are super important for strength as well. Making sure, again, we're not having any arch in the back, we're pulling that all in where it should be. Up on the toes, quick pause. So we're not going through these too quickly. You want them nice and stabilized and controlled. Up on the toes and back down. So there's two ways that you can do those. We're going to do facing forward at hip width apart. And then you have one where you can put your heels together, toes out, and that's gonna grab more of the inside of the calf, which will grab a little more on the inside of the knee. Okay, so you're here, same thing applies, same posture applies, up and down. I didn't pause on that one, so let me do that again. Up and pause, and straight back down. Okay, and you'll feel the difference in the angles from the feet. So I think that is it. Just making sure that we're doing a lot of the stretches before and after the exercises. You can kind of jumble them up a little bit if you'd like, but if you have any questions, please let me know. Leave a comment on the video. And that's it for today. Thank you and have a great day.